Now at 4:30 on WKYT this morning, we're learning more about a plane crash in Georgetown that sent 4 people to the hospital, and we'll have details next.
Fayette County Schools' new superintendent starts today. What he plans to do on his first day on the job coming up.
And on WKYT, an Eastern Kentucky mom facing numerous charges this morning after police say she got her kids to help her shoplift. Those stories and much more coming up on WKYT this morning.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you and welcome in. Here we are Monday, August 3rd. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's get a first look at the weather right now with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, we're looking outside. It's a pretty good morning. I'm really not seeing anything going on. First Alert Defender live radar. There is your shot outside. And it looks good at the moment. There are some storms up in Ohio and Indiana trying to make their way in our direction. I just don't see them holding together to really affect a lot of us. If so, maybe in the far northern zones, temperatures sitting there in the 60s. So look out for those storms potentially here in the far northern zones in just about 2 hours. There you go. A couple of storms out and about today. Some of these storms up in the north later on today, too, could be strong. And I'll talk all about that with those 90-degree temperatures in there coming up.
Okay, we'll see you then. Let's get to the news this morning. Rescue crews will be continuing a search for a missing man who's been gone now for over a day. Rescue crews say 31-year-old Josh Adkins Risner is from Richmond and went missing from the Coomer Ridge campground on Saturday night.
Police say Adkins does have some mental illness. WKYT's Sam Smith was in Wolfe County last night. He has the latest on the search.
Officials say Josh Adkins Risner was last seen around 8 o'clock Saturday night. His family says they were all trying to leave the campground, but he didn't want to go, and then he took off into the woods. Here's a photo of him. He's 31 years old and from Richmond. He was last seen wearing a blue shirt, khaki shorts, and blue and white Nike shoes. His family reported him missing Sunday morning. Crews have been out here all day searching. Family members say he's suffering from a mental illness and he's not dangerous. Crews from Wolfe, Morgan, Menifee, and Knott counties are out here searching for him.
Counted probably around 20-25 people, but they're searching one area at a time until they clear everything out.
Kentucky State Police are also on the scene assisting. Adkins has been placed into the missing persons database. This terrain makes the job search crews have more difficult.
So there's a lot of high walls, there's cliffs, and of course the foliage is extremely dense down in the bottom. I talked to one of the searchers a minute ago, said they were having a lot of trouble seeing the ground because the foliage is so high up. It's over knee high in some places and probably over their head in others.
I'm told one rescuer was injured over the course of this search. He was climbing down from a tree and injured his ankle, but he's expected to be okay. In Wolfe County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Sam. Crews spent all night searching for Risner. He remains missing this morning. Authorities say they have found the man who went missing on a Nicholas County lake over the weekend. The Nicholas County Coroner's Office says crews found the body of 41-year-old Matthew Parker in Lake Carnico Sunday morning. Parker disappeared in the water Saturday. Family says he swam out to help a little girl who had lost her inner tube. Crews from Nicholas and Rowan counties and the Lexington Fire Department combed the lake for about 8 hours Saturday and Sunday, searching for Parker.
Family said he was an experienced swimmer and was able to swim good, but whether he had a medical condition that caused him to go down, we're just uncertain.
Well, police say Parker was a father from Franklin County. Lake Carnico reopened yesterday afternoon.
4:34 on WKYT this morning, and federal investigators continue to search for clues today after a father-son fishing trip took a dangerous turn over the weekend. On Saturday night, Scott County deputies say a group's plane crashed at the Georgetown Scott County Regional Airport. Emergency crews rushed 4 people to the hospital. Deputies say the group was flying from Dayton, Ohio to Somerset when they suddenly ran into engine trouble.
There was some type of engine failure. He just basically lost control after a certain point. He had one engine and it was still flying on one engine, and then I guess he lost power to the second engine.
The airport is back open this morning. The Bourbon County coroner has now identified a man who was killed in a fiery crash. The coroner says 33-year-old Elmer Neese was driving down Winchester Road early Sunday morning when he lost control and hit a tree. His car then burst into flames. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused Neese to wreck.
A Lexington man is recovering this morning after being shot during an attempted robbery. This happened Sunday afternoon on Nancy Lane. Police say 2 men in an SUV pulled up to a man and tried to rob him. One of the men then shot the victim in the leg. Police living on Nancy Lane say the victim started going door to door looking for help.
It's kind of scary. It makes you wonder what's going on in this neighborhood anymore.
Well, the victim told the homeowner who helped him the men stole $700 from him. Authorities in Boyle County had to put a hospital on lockdown this weekend after a report of a mysterious illness at the emergency room. Officials at Ephraim McDowell Regional Medical Center in Danville had to shut down their ER Saturday after someone came in with a then unknown disease. A spokesperson for the hospital said officials later learned the patient suffered from 2 different strains of chickenpox. Hospital leaders felt it was necessary to isolate the patient at the time. According to them, we're told that that person is not a risk to the community. The emergency room reopened Saturday night.
A man charged in a deadly hit and run in Lexington is set to go on trial today. Lexington police say back in June of last year, Angel Maya swerved across 3 lanes of I-64 and slammed into a pickup truck. 68-year-old Wanda Beach was killed. Police say Maya ran from the scene, but they caught him nearby. Investigators at the time said alcohol was a factor in the crash. He is charged with murder, wanton endangerment, and leaving the scene of an accident. A Lexington father is set to face a judge today after police say they saw a toddler almost get hit by a car. Authorities arrested 32-year-old Justin Fuller on Friday. And according to his arrest citation, officers say they found Fuller's 3-year-old son walking down a street naked several yards from his home. They say the boy was almost hit by a passing vehicle. Police later arrested Fuller at his home. He is charged with wanton endangerment as well as drug possession and evidence tampering.
Well, new this morning, a Magoffin County mom is set to face a judge today after Lexington police say they caught her shoplifting with her kids. Police arrested Lovesta Reisner of Salyersville at Fayette Mall Sunday. Police say she stole more than $800 worth of items from JCPenney. They say she had her 2 kids helping steal items. Reisner faces several charges, including endangering the welfare of a minor. Lexington firefighters had to put out a fire that damaged a family's home on Sunday. It broke out at a home on Octavian Way. A man driving by the home says he saw smoke and called 911.
It was small. It was coming out the vents at the top. It was a little gray, but the house was completely full. I looked in the window there, and you couldn't really see anything in the inside like you can now.
Well, crews say even though there was a lot of smoke, the home had very minor damage.
Fayette County Public Schools expected to welcome its brand new superintendent today. A spokesperson for the school district says Manny Kalk is expected to officially start today. The school district hired him back in June. Kalk had been the superintendent of Portland, Maine's public school system since 2012. Kalk will speak to reporters and educators later this morning at Bryan Station High School.
We have a traffic alert to pass along for you this morning. The left turn lanes to Mason Headley and Waller Avenue from Harrodsburg Road will be closed today. The closure is so crews can work on new medians because they are not what transportation officials call pedestrian friendly. The project was supposed to start in July, but the summer's bad weather delayed the project. Work on the medians should be complete in about 8 weeks.
So if you think about that, that gets you to October. So it's going to be a long situation over there again at Waller Avenue, where Waller changes into Mason Headley and Broadway changes into Harrodsburg Road.
Ooh,
They all
okay.
change names right there.
Losing direction
but
here.
That's the intersection over
Okay,
there
good
at
to
St. Joseph Hospital. WKYT This Morning is on the air with all the latest, and we're just getting started.
With temperatures rising, so does the risk of heat exhaustion. Moms Everyday shares how to keep your little cuties cool after the break.
And we're not looking at anything right now, but we do have some storms to the north of us that are heading our direction. We'll talk all about that and when you can expect those coming up.